I need some water. And just like that, and just like that, we're back. Just be aware, we're gonna hear some kids in the background. Just pick the kids up. Figured I'll start the stream. Kids are gonna come in here, probably playing, so I'm gonna mute my microphone if and when they do. Kids are already being crazy. I'm gonna have to go check on them in a minute. I'm not even showing the right thing here. This is crazy. I was not paying attention. My fault. 12 minutes in and like, oops. We're going to do a Boolean to intersect these two. Change the Boolean to intersection and accept. And that will get us our rooftop. And then I can go to polygroup edit. And then we'll take the bottom part and raise it up. Oh my Lord, what a banger. We'll stick to that right there. I think that's good. And what I really want to do here is just kind of do a Boolean operation to subtract. Let me see how I want to play this out. I'm sorry, what? Okay, ignore him, just like he has to ignore you. Talk about Paw Patrol, Hot Wheels, what your favorite cartoon is, anything else, okay? Alright, let's copy this, convert it, accept, polygroup edit, delete the face on top, accept, paste, polygroup edit. Let's see. Jane, no, that's not okay. Zeppelin, don't touch each other, all right? Let's see. Invert selection, delete, accept. And now we have two separate faces, I think. Two separate pieces. And then we're going to do a polygroup or a... I'm going to need 3 of these to do a Boolean intersection for the F, ED, the EX, the floor. Okay, ignore him and talk about games and movies and Paw Patrol or something else, okay? Thank you. So copy. We're going to grab these two. We're going to do a Boolean operation, intersection, and accept. And then something just got jacked up on that, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. We'll do the same thing with this one. Let's go paste and Boolean, accept. delete. Okay, and paste. And boolean, accept, and delete. And then we go polygroup edit. We'll grab the top, invert selection, delete faces, accept. Actually, you know what? I kind of screwed up. Because what I want to do is I want to have a duplicate of the FedEx text too. So I'm going to copy, paste that. And then we're going to do copy, paste, and paste. And let's do a Boolean operation again on the Fed. And then another on the X. And then let's see, do we have another copy of this? We need another copy. Copy, paste. All right, do a Boolean operation on the forum. Okay, and then we need to do A minus B Boolean. So Boolean, A minus B, accept. And then do the same thing with this text. Accept. And do the same thing with this text. Accept. All right, so let's turn this off. Let's go here, polygroup edit, grab the face, and then invert selection, and delete faces, and accept. The same thing for this text, polygroup edit, select the faces, invert, and then hit delete and accept. Grab this one, polygroup edit, select the faces, invert, selection, delete, and let's turn this other Boolean back on. Now looks like we got some stuff to get rid of, so let's polygroup edit, grab this face, invert selection, and delete and accept. It's as easy as that. So if I go out of game mode, I think I want to get rid of this now. Yeah, we can delete that. And let's say we want to use this PVC material on the top of this. Let's go to edit materials. Actually escape. I'll just drop her in there like that. And you'll be able to see that we have the Fed, the X, and the forum all as individual elements that I can then go and color or put a material on, and then I can then go join those into one mesh once I'm done building the entire building. These kids will not stop tattling on each other. Which toys, baby?
It was my pop's toy.
Why did she do that?
She slammed it like this.
Why did she do that?
Because she was mad at me for some reason.
Why was she mad at you? What did you do?
Nothing.
Well,
I was trying to organize it. I was trying to put the cars like this.
Was she playing with one of the things you were trying to organize?
Yeah.
Okay, don't try to organize something that someone else is playing with, okay?
Okay.
And ask her not to throw your toys. Be right back. All right. Let's see how long before I have to get up again. Hopefully not at all. Oh no. Oh no. Don't tell me that I did that again. I think I did. Okay. I deleted something that I didn't mean to delete. Oh. That's okay. I got a solution. I'll take this and we will push this down. Actually, no, we're going to duplicate it. Push pull. Let's go there. Is there a top? Looks like there is. Okay, and then we're going to inset. We're gonna turn off the softness. Let's say to about right there. And push pull up to here. Oh, that's looking pretty good. All right, I got to get up one more time to make sure these kids are downstairs or somebody else and another adult is here if they are upstairs. All right, we're good. Someone else is here. They're gonna go upstairs and play video games on the projector. Now I can get to work, do some fun stuff. Excuse me. All right, I think I'm gonna have to go to a street view to kind of figure out how I want to continue from here. Generally this is just like the process of gray boxing, but I like to add details as a gray box because it helps with the overall process instead of just drawing boxes, which I've kind of already done. You can, as you can see, most of the structure for the FedEx forum is here. To some extent. Just need some minor adjustments. Photogrammetry quality is not great. It's pretty bad, actually. But let's get to the street view and figure out what we're looking at. I think I want to delete this part and rebuild that. But again, I need to see what's really going on here, which photogrammetry is not really going to clearly tell me. This perspective might, though. What? Huh? Nope. I think they're upstairs with Jackson. Yeah, with Jackson. Are you gonna go up with Jackson and see what they're doing? You should. All right, you go do that then. Sounds like a good idea. Okay, well, you'll be all right until dinner time again. Until it's dinner time, I mean. You're not gonna get any more chips, that's for sure. Yep. Oh, what'd you say? No, he's just messing with random stuff. Hey, Emmett. Jackson's looking for you. Oh, that's number 3.
How's your thing going?
Slowly. Surely, but slowly. Yeah, you know, I'm doing a live stream actually, and I figured if I want to get more attention, I should work on buildings and parts of the project that a lot of people are familiar with. So I'm doing the FedEx Forum and the Pyramid. Let me see where it's at, and other popular buildings to just kind of get some attention on it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's tough. So if I turn off the game mode, that's what I got so far. Pretty crazy, right?
Keep that there. No, keep the pyramid.
The pyramid's staying. Should I keep this too?
I don't. Yeah, I think so. But if that's where the beignets is, I would not.
It's close. It's very close. You got good memory.
Pretty cool. Hey, come on.
See you, buddy. Go play.
Nice to get out upstairs.
Let me think. Gray boxing, I could go ahead and add the detail that I want for this. Which might not be a bad idea. So to do that, what I need to do is take this. Let's see here. So let's do a polygroup edit. Let's see if I can modify this. I think we're gonna delete. Oh no. Actually, yeah, we can do that. Make sure we got all these selected. Looks like we do. Take my shot at. Oh, I knew that was going to be hard to do. The fact that I don't have any really good control over this, that really sucks. Maybe I can select an edge loop. And let's go. Now this is where Blender comes in handy really well. Hey, Zeppelin. Zeppelin, you can stop screaming, baby. Stop screaming, okay? Let's see. Let's reopen Power Toys. Let's see if this is gonna work like it's supposed to. Let's go to Power Toys settings. Advanced. No, it's gonna be in the general. No.
Why?
You can go play with toys right now. No computer.
Why?
School day. Layouts, fancy zones. Hold shift to activate zones. Allow child window snapping. All right, well, we should be in business. There it is. Had to restart it. Now it works. All right. We back. Now I got to figure out how to very gently edit this. One 0.001435. Oh, that doesn't make a difference. Can I lock it? What's Delta mode? Delta mode, values are interpreted as changes relative to the last gizmo position. Let's turn it off and see how this works then. That's weird. I don't want to do it like that. So if I go I'm not feeling this. 1.010. Let's try that. 1.01 and 1.01. It's going to be a little bit exaggerated, but it'll give the effect that I'm going for, I think. Let's close it, and then let's say fill hole and push pull just by a hair. And then we can inset. Hey Zeppelin, no thanks, buddy. No thank you. There we go. It's a little closer to what I want. It's not perfect, but I'll take it. And then I can kind of manually adjust all of this to make it just slightly smaller. So let's grab all of these and let's do 0.9. Nope. Let's do 0.999. Nope, that hardly changes it. 0.98. Okay, 0.998. We're doing these little incremental changes. 0.988 maybe. 0.988. Okay, I think that's a better way. 0.9888. 0.9888. How far in does that go? .988. I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm cool with that. That gives us a little bit of detail up here. Again, like, we have to avoid using Blender right now because I can't bring all this. I can bring photogrammetry into Blender, but then the translation from Blender to back to Unreal, and then from Unreal to Blender, when working with all these different tools, it's such a headache that doing 5 extra steps than in Unreal versus the one in Blender, it's kind of worth the trade-off. Because instantly, this is exactly where I want it to be. And it's got enough detail. Like I'm satisfied with how that looks. Now we need to figure out how far back to modify this. So let's go polygroup edit. Let's grab this face. Let's do a inset. How far though? It's very hard to tell how thick that is under there. So right now I'm just gonna guess, and I'm gonna bring it in far enough to where these columns, to where it's kind of bypassing these columns. And then we're gonna do a push pull into the ceiling. How much, I'm not sure, but not by much, just enough. To give us some detail. And then we're gonna go back here, I think. What are we seeing? Okay. Grab this and then inset. Let's say it's about right here. And then push pull this back down. Looks like it goes to about here. What's up, buddy?
Can you turn the light bulbs rainbow?
Yeah, just don't turn the light on and off because it'll mess it up, okay?
Okay.
Is it on right now?
Yeah.
Okay, keep it on. Not yet, buddy. You'll see it when it does it, so go in there. Well, I can't do it like that. I just have to pick 2 different colors, okay? How about this? Kids wanted me to change the color of the lights in the downstairs living room. I'm looking for that then and now thing that I just saw. Here we go. I think. Oh no, it disappeared. All right, Facebook. That's super strange. All right, as you can see, we've got some detail here. You know, obviously it's not going to be the most perfect thing, but you know, this is a start. Let's accept this. Let's hide this for a second. Let's convert that to a new static mesh and then polygroup edit. Excuse me. Merge. Move it to about there. Okay, Zeppelin, do you want to go to bed, buddy? All right. My son has this bad habit of saying things that we've asked him not to say. They're not necessarily bad words, but there are other kids that get in trouble for saying certain things, and he's learning. I guess he's learning. I don't know. He's learning how to control himself. Control his mouth, more importantly. And I'm struggling to get him to maintain that integrity when he's away from me. When I tell him, hey, this is not something that you should joke about, you know, for whatever reason. But when he gets into a room with his friends, he likes to say the things that I've asked him not to say, even though they're not necessarily appropriate. There's just a time and place to use them. And it's really tough for me to get him to, I guess, see the significance of like when and where to use those words. He's only 5, so I got to cut him a break sometimes, but it's been very challenging. Come in here, baby. That's okay. Find something to play with. That's okay. He doesn't have to do what you want to do. Okay? Figure out what he wants to do and you both come up with an idea together. I don't hide the real world from my kid, man. He thinks everything should go his way. I'm like, hey, listen, that's not how the world works. Somebody don't want to play with you. They don't want to play with you. It is what it is. That's how this should be, I guess. All right, so I think I'm gonna redo all this. Because I have since found a better way to accomplish what I've needed. And I guess I don't, since I'm not doing any interiors right now, this is just going to be exterior blocking. So what I'll do is I'll grab a box. I'll polygroup edit that box. And I'll just move the sides, based on, I guess, what you can call the silhouette of the building. We'll accept that for now. And then I can go in here and grab all these little pieces that I previously created and delete them. And then I can do a beveled edge here. Don't tell. What are you gonna do to fix the problem? Are you gonna figure it out with Emmett and work it out? I just said don't tell. Playing with the what?
This.
What's that?
This.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
And this is something that you listen.
The video game CDs?
Yeah.
Under the cabinet?
Yeah.
Okay, so how are you gonna help him do the right thing?
No, I don't know.
Okay, talk to him about it. Say, hey. I give him a lot of responsibility that he's not quite ready for, but if I do it now, I won't have to try to do it later, is my line of thought. Maybe it's not supposed to be beveled. So let me take this down a bit. Okay, inset, and then push pull. All right, so now you can see that detail that's in there. It's a lot easier, I think, for me to do it this way, because if I want to turn this into a building with an interior, all I have to do is take this rooftop here, this rectangle, copy it, push it into the floor to hollow out the walls, and then paste the rooftop back and give it some thickness. And then we'll have surrounding walls where I can put windows or whatever, a door, and I'll be able to have an interior. Right now, it's just one big block. So if I go inside of it, you can't see anything, right? Because you can't see the inside of textures. So to demonstrate that, you would polygroup edit, grab that face, duplicate it, pull it out of the way, grab this face again, push pull, and then push it all the way down through the ground, or at least to like where you would think the floor would be. So let's say you'd push it down to about here, and then you take this, give it a little push, give it some thickness, accept, and then split, accept, and then take this top part and let's edit the pivot, set it to top, accept, and now I can move this into place. Let's say about right there. Go to game mode, and now we have a rooftop. So if I turn this off, we now have an interior. So if I go back through this again, you can see those interior walls now. Obviously I'll need to, you know, subtract this part of this building right here, which easy to do, but for now, that's a very fast solution to create the interior walls from your gray box, as opposed to having just a square or rectangle. So if I go back, you have, let's see, I do have walls here. So let me just grab, all right, let's say this right here is this whole circular part of the forum is one solid piece. So if you go into it, you won't see any interior. If I go back out, no, you cannot. 2 reasons: you weren't good at school today, and 2, you have to be good at home. You can have ice cream this weekend if Miss Anchando tells me that you have better behavior at school, okay? But she's got to tell me that you lay down during nap time and you don't play. All right? He wants ice cream, but he's not getting any. I don't play about bad behavior. All right, so I pretty much just kind of jump around. And, you know, I tried to get some details. I started out initially by building walls and then adding rooftops because I thought that was going to be the quickest way to basically build this whole structure. And I think in some ways that would have been helpful, so that I didn't have to go back later and try to figure out how to convert this to a actual, like, into 3D geometry for the interior. Eventually I want to get to the interior, and I want to be able to have my character, or anyone, you know, for architectural visualization purposes, be able to actually walk through, you know, the front door and then be able to see geometry like this, right? Obviously I have to put a roof up there of some sorts, but again, this is a prime example. If I have just exterior geometry, the character can't walk through the door and then see the walls on the inside. Those walls don't exist. So if I build everything out in boxes, this is the issue that I'll have. If I build everything out in walls like this, so where you have these individual meshes that make up the individual walls, you can then walk through the front door and then you can see the geometry there still. All right, so without having an actual reference photos, videos of the interior, I can't really model anything on there yet, but I have the photogrammetry that I can bash around, you know, wall bash, roof bash, and I can just get all the geometry in place, and create those exterior details, add some of the roof details, make sure all the walls are in the right place. And from there, it's much easier to build my environment. It's a lot. This is a lot of work. And this is how I've done everything so far. All these buildings here, I've done this way where I've got walls. And then once I add a rooftop, I can then go add floor, doors, windows, and it's a real building. I'll give you an example here. where I've already kind of done some of the hard work on some buildings. So this is an example. I can walk through, you know, I can go through this window, and as you can see, there are interior walls, rooftop or ceiling, floors. I can go from floor to floor, and then there's a rooftop. At the very bottom level, there's a floor. So all right, so geometry. Same thing is kind of true for this building. This one's still a work in progress, but if I go through this window, I've got some floors. I don't know what the interior of this building looks like, though, to know where the floors need to be placed. So it's all an estimation. It's a big guess. It's a big guess right now. I just want the exterior, but I do want some floors in there so that I can kind of simulate a finished interior. Looks like some textures haven't loaded, or they're just really bright. Another building where I've done it is here. So I've got some blocks in place of where I want to place my doors, and I have an opening on one side here. So you walk through, you've got these interior walls, you've got the brick texture, you've got floors, and whether those are placed in the correct place or not, I'm not sure. But if you're on the outside looking in, you can see that there's actual geometry on the interior. The last one that I've done that's multi-layered is this one. We're at medium. We're running on medium or high scalability so that I can also stream from this computer at the same time. But you walk through, you've got, you know, some floor. You've got this super tall window. Got another floor and another floor, and it's real geometry. Right, but if I go to a building like, let's say this one, I believe it's interior geometry where I've built it with walls, and then I added why am I lagging? I added floors and ceilings. So let's double check. If I go inside, yeah, there are walls. The ceiling is a one plane geometry, which it means it doesn't have any thickness, which I could fix later for all of these. So as you can see the sky. But for some of these, I do have, let me see, a geometry like thickness. So this rooftop is a roof and a floor. So if I go into that building, we have rooftop, floor, doors, and another door here. So those are the things that I'm thinking about. Why is this lagging right now? This should not be acting this crazy. Let me figure out what else is on. First, let's exit Steam. Oh, I do have... No, I don't. I thought I had 3ds Max and Blender open. I do have SketchUp open. I can close that. And I have 2 instances of Unreal open. That's why. Okay, that makes sense. I've got this asset level or project where I'm bringing in all my different assets. Accessibility was first on the list because it starts with the letter A, and those are the way my folders are organized in alphabetical order. So accessibility, and then like crowd control stuff I'm bringing in, and I'm gonna have one master file with all these different types of objects for staging all my scenes, and crowd control, and then game tables, so poker table, pool table, air hockey, like all these different billiard related things and game related things, all the way down the list of like hundreds of folders of assets that I want to make Unreal Engine ready. That's going to help me once I finish gray boxing and building out the entire environment. I'll convert some of those buildings to level instances so that as the player navigates around the scene, only the necessary items per room loads based on the proximity of the player to that location. So if you go in through if you enter into like a lot or neighborhood, the interiors of some of those buildings will start to populate. If you enter into a district, the interiors of those buildings will start to populate. But as you enter into that lot, different things will populate based on the player's position, so that you can visually see through the windows and doors that there's geometry, furniture, other accessories, fixtures in the interiors. So as I build out these levels, I'll be able to quickly go in here into what's called it's either an asset zoo or a actor palette, to grab these items and then populate my scenes and then convert those rooms to instanced levels. Each of these items will be instance meshes. So if I have 20 pool tables, in one space, or, let's say 20 staircases in one neighborhood, all those staircases can use the same geometry, so that the geometry technically only loads into the VRAM once. So this is my attempt at optimizing everything all at once, including materials. I'll find every material that uses stainless, or every mesh and object that uses stainless steel, and then I'll have one stainless steel material across the entire project, and I'll apply that material to every item in here that should be stainless steel. All right, so this is the start of me optimizing those. That's why I was lagging, I think, is because I had this open. And this is my architectural visualization project, where I can visualize all at once all of my assets to populate my ArchViz scenes, including humans. So I'm working on bringing all of my humans into the scene and making sure that they are all, looks like our materials are messed up, even though they just loaded. So if what's going on here? I wonder if I messed up one of my primary materials or something. Let's go modeling, edit materials, and see what happens. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We can fix that later. But let's go recent level. Don't save. I'm going to preview a couple more levels, then I'm going to take a break, and I'll come back and restart the stream a little later. Got to spend a little time with my kid. So bringing in all my people. And then I'm working on also bringing in all my cars and vehicles and converting those to drivable vehicles. And this was a challenging thing to learn, how to rig vehicles in 3ds Max for driving. Let me go ahead and close this. And I think that'll help with performance. Hey, what is everybody doing?
They don't want to punch me.
Well, Zeppelin said the same thing. Nobody wants to play with him. So how about you and Zeppelin find something to do together? Okay. Try again and keep his toys in here, okay? Try again. Maybe he can play Hot Wheels or something. Upstairs on the projector. Is Jane watching that too? Okay, why don't you want to watch it? Lucas's Spider is cool, dude. You don't want to watch Lucas's Spider? No? Maybe not. Well, I feel you. Zeppelin said the same thing. He said he didn't want to be by himself or nobody wanted to play with him. So maybe you and him can, or, you know, if you play by yourself for a little bit, maybe a little bit later you can invite him to join you. I want you to stay out of his drawers though without his permission. I don't want you to mess with his toys without his permission. Yeah. It's tough to figure out like kind of where to go from here because I jump around a lot when editing a single building, trying to kind of find the motivation and inspiration for what's going to be the easiest thing to get me to the next piece. As you can see, there's a lot of detail. I have to do staircases, you know, a lot of ground level stuff to make this look really nice. And then if I move around, you can see really how many different materials I'll need. So just a lot to think about. I think something that could help speed this along, other than just looking at it all, is knocking out some of the smaller details, windows. So let's take a look at this. Grab a box. Let's get on in there and try to align this to the normal. Polygroup edit. The hard thing about this is that the gizmo will automatically snap to the photogrammetry. So if I'm not close enough to the geometry, I can't get the snapping to work because it's automatically gonna snap to the photogrammetry. So I gotta get my camera up super close. Dang it. What's up, buddy?
So fast that the traffic cone went in the air. It didn't go all the way in the air, but it went to where we had this little apple football thingy. It went in there.
In the fruit bowl.
Yeah.
Wow.
The fruit plate.
Okay, cool.
So cool.
That's cool, man. I think he would. You're right. Oh boy, kids are so funny, dude. All right, I'm trying to rotate this. All right, what are we doing here? What's happening? All right, there we go. That should be where I need it to go. Or so I thought. That is not where it needs to go. What the heck? What's going on? All right, let's try this again. What am I seeing? Oh, okay, I did it to the inner wall. I see now. I think what I'm going to have to do is just invert that photogrammetry instead of hiding it. So turn off game mode. Let's go find cesium. Let's dock cesium and let's go to the raster overlay, and then we're going to do invert selection. And that completely gets rid of it. Now I can snap to my geometry without a problem. There we go. Now we can rotate this to here. Grab this face. Lock it there. All right, now I should be able to push this out like so. And bring this up. Now let's uninvert the photogrammetry. Now let's figure out how high this needs to go. Let's say about right there, which is gonna guess. Let's pull the bottom down enough. And how far this needs to go is what we don't know yet. So I'm just gonna bring this out like that for now. Let's go game mode. Let me think how I want to do this part. Let's copy. So Control C. Let's convert this to a new static mesh. Accept. Let's go polygroup edit. Oh man. Don't tell me I'm gonna have to select all of this individually. That's 72 pieces. That's all right. Let's just get her done. Again, one of the reasons Blender is superior is because making these kind of edits much easier. Also 3ds Max probably be a lot easier to do like an edge loop and select the faces between the two edge loops, or select all the faces on the same rotated surface. Well, that's part of my choice to use this tool. I'll merge this. Okay. And let's just decide instead that we're going to accept that. And we're going to actually copy this mesh and then do a conversion again. Polygroup edit, grab that face, and we can push pull. And let's push this all the way up through the top, up through to let's say to about here. Accept. Let's go paste and polygroup edit. Let's grab this face, invert selection, and delete those faces. And then I can grab this face and do a push pull. Actually, first I want to flip that face, so let's do flip. And let's push pull upwards. Kind of doesn't matter how high, just a little bit. And then I'll grab this face again and I'll do a recalculate normals and accept. So now we have this interior, this ceiling that I can turn on and off. And these meshes are somewhat separate. That being done, I can then go in and do a Boolean operation. So let's grab the surrounding mesh and then this rectangle I created, and let's do Boolean difference a minus b and accept. And that gives us the cutout that we need for this mesh. Okay, it's not going to be perfect, doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, I did kind of mess up a little bit, so let's undo. Let's grab this rectangle. Let's center the pivot. Okay, and then let's stretch it or shrink it. Say it's about there. Not good enough. Okay, I think that's better. And then we'll do that Boolean operation. And that gives me something a little closer to what I can work with. Still looks a little bit off maybe. But it's not a big deal. Again, it doesn't have to be super perfect. What I do know is looking at the photogrammetry or looking at Google Street View, at each one of these like pillars, I guess you can call them here, columns. There's a much larger column on that line, which is why we divided our cylinder up into 72 parts. So at each one of those lines, I can place a column. What is it? I'm busy. I want you to stay in there and play. What are you eating? Huh? From where? From the snack box?
Yeah,
Okay.
from our school.
Go play. What is it?
It's this. I do not want to. I do not like the house thing over the cigarettes and the beignets.
The what?
Cigarettes and the beignets. That was my mom and dad's store.
Cigarettes and beignets?
No, cigarettes and beignets.
Cigarettes.
No, cigarettes and beignets. I do not like that little house thing over it.
The house
The little
above
thing.
beignets. The place where people live.
No, not beignets. Like beignets, a restaurant.
Yes, the place where people live above beignets, upstairs.
Like I do not like the house part of it. Like on top of it. Like I do not
Right,
like.
above beignets, upstairs. The
Right.
building, the rooms that are upstairs above
No,
beignets.
no, like where the cars go through and it's dark in there and all that. I do not like that.
The alleyway behind beignets, where you can walk around to get to beignets.
No, it was like it was like a big square and there was cars driving through. It was dark in there, and I do not like.
The parking garage?
I liked it just the way it was. I liked it just the way it was,
Yes, the parking garage.
and I liked it just the way it was until you added that.
This.
The parking garage. On beignets
Okay.
and cigarettes.
And sugar grits. Yeah, it sounds like you're saying cigarettes. Beignets and sugar grits.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yes, the parking garage, the Peabody parking garage.
Yeah, but I did not like that there. I liked
There's
it
nothing
just the
I
way
can
it
do
was.
about that,
I
man.
liked it just the way it was, and then you started taking all the buildings away
Okay,
from there.
go play. So,
And then they started to destroy all
Yeah.
the buildings.
yes, go play and I'll fix them, okay?
And also, there was an ice cream store.
Okay. Good to know. These kids are really something else. There was an ice cream store apparently. And he doesn't like the parking garage. I don't know. Y'all gonna have to see me in the do-rag for a little bit. Sorry, man. There's nothing I can do about the parking garage that you don't like. And beignets. All right, all right, all right. They just don't stop. Okay, wait until dinner.
Not fair.
Life's not fair, man. You can munch on that if you want to.
No.
Okay, then don't complain. Just wait. Everybody wants their food right now, I'm sure. Emmett, please go play, dude, before I lock the door. Thank you. All right. He's probably gonna close the door. I don't want to know about your goldfish. No offense, little man. Okay, so these two. I'll be right back. One of the hardest things to teach kids is critical thinking. It's like, come on, dude. How are you going to solve that problem? Excuse me. Here is my swag. Girls are only swag. Everybody pay attention. This right here is my pretty boy swag. Pretty boy swag. Hey, pretty boy swag. Hey. Brother, what? Let me save before we crash when I invert the cesium data. And let's go back and edit. All right, so let me take a look at the geometry. This looks like it's right about up in the center of that M. So let's say like right here-ish. Here, it's my sweat. Oh, on me. Damn. Everybody, pay attention. This right here is my pretty boy swag. Pretty boy. All right, so what I'll do right here is I'll copy this. Actually, I need to stretch it. So edit pivot, center, accept, and then we're gonna stretch it out just a hair. Kids, dude. All right. Let me turn it off. Back on. Okay. Let's copy it. Paste it. Let's do a Boolean. Accept. And let's modify this one back to something that's sensible. That's weird. Oh, hell. Okay, why is this not aligning where it needs to? That's weird. Stop screaming, please. Man, these kids can't control their... Be right back. two boys, and they spend 90% of their time screaming. Like, I mean, just like they saw a ghost type. Louder than the girl. And to this day, I cannot understand the motivation. Nor can I understand why this isn't aligning. Or maybe it's something to do with hell. I don't know. All right, here's what I'll do. Let's push it through like this. Okay, that kind of makes sense, I think. Oh, shoot. All right, there we go. That kind of fixes my issue. Looks a little out of place, but again, we have to consider Google's photogrammetry isn't that great because it kind of takes pictures from one perspective, let's say like from here, and it'll project the image on the photogrammetry from one perspective of, let's say, the Google Street View camera that sits on top of the car that drives around, the Google Maps camera. And when it projects that image onto the 3D geometry that's scanned from LiDAR, you don't get an accurate representation of exactly where different features of the building are, because that perspective might only show a projection from, let's say, the car being right here on the street. It'll take a picture from here, but when you're looking at the image from, you know, straight on, the image will be projected from the car being in this position, not from the camera view, not from here or here. It'll be projected from here, and it'll look correct if I view it just from this angle. So when you're gray boxing Google Earth, like real spaces, you can't rely on the textures to determine the correct positioning. You just kind of have to guess and use math, which is what I did. So I used the lines from my subdivisions, knowing that this is divided based on these columns right here, and I looked at the Google Earth data or the Street View data to then be able to determine how wide this is actually cut into the side of the building. As you can see, these two columns right here go along these lines right here, and this window, as well as the little black portion, kind of gets evenly cut into the tiles on both sides of those columns. So that lets me know, like, I can use the math, I can use those columns or those lines in the subdivision that I created as a reference to figure out where I want to cut this opening. I'm using cesium right now. This is cesium's 3D Earth data. All of this is cesium minus, you know, everything that I've gray boxed on top of the cesium data, which is why I'm doing this inside of Unreal Engine. Yeah. I got it. But cesium, Google gives you a low tier resolution texture, whereas in Google Earth, on Google Maps, the resolution is much higher. They don't provide the highest resolution textures through the cesium streamed, 3D geometry. And that's the other thing that sucks, because the closer you get to these buildings, it's like, all right, if I were to look at the same information here, go play. Hey. Actually, you can go upstairs and be by yourself, or you can stay in here and play like I've asked you to. Your choice. Close that door back for me, please. Not that one. No. Keep that one open. Because I want that one open. Close the other one. Thank you. Okay, well, go play while he pees. No. Thanks. All right, so if I look at this right here, I mean, I can't really get super close to it, but that looks way better. The resolution is way higher. And I don't understand why Google won't provide that same resolution to cesium users. But you know what? It's all good. I'm not trying to make it perfect, but you know, just getting this general look and feel right here is enough for me. I'll be back. I can give these kids each other. Hey, play with each other. Here's a billion toys. And the first thing they want to do is like, oh, we want to annoy you. They're not blueprints yet, but they will be. They will be instanced blueprints, instance levels. Once I get beyond the gray boxing stage, each building, since they'll have all these floors and all these details on the interiors, will be converted to blueprints. And then I will use streaming to stream the levels in, stream them in as levels. That way, if I create interiors, I can then stage all those interiors and have all the interiors as well as the items inside of them stream in as well. All right, so let me just drop this box here. Polygroup edit it, grab it all, and reposition it like so. And then we'll rotate it to meet this corner. And then push this face to here. And that's a very easy way. I just use boxes because using boxes is a much quicker way to take something that's in my head and convert it to geometry. So let's bring that about there. I don't know the best type of discipline for kids who do the exact opposite of what you ask them not to do. Spanking doesn't seem to be effective. Timeouts don't seem to be effective. Once again, this is not rotated properly. And I think that's a limitation of Unreal Engine more than anything else. Oh, I see the issue. I'm gonna have to tell these kids to go upstairs or something because they don't seem to care that we don't want them screaming. Okay. You're both having a time. Y'all think it's funny. It's not. Okay.
You're naughty.
All right. Had to get on to the kid again. Yes, there are procedural tools, but unless I'm working with something like Houdini or like getting really serious about using AI to help me generate these buildings in a way that doesn't make for more work, it's very hard for me to use those procedural tools and get the outcome I'm looking for without having to go back over the generated geometry to like basically redo everything. So I don't disagree. I just don't know how to use something like Houdini enough to eliminate the extra steps to get the end result that I'm looking for, because I already have all of Cesium's buildings. Like these I created from scratch. All of this gray boxing that I've done here, I've done from scratch. And there are hero buildings that I'm focused on, which FedEx Forum is one of them. But if I turn on, like I don't even have Cesium's 3D buildings activated, but I've extracted out of that the Cesium buildings, which there are thousands. So all of these are from Cesium. Basically, this goes out as far as you can imagine. These are all Cesium's buildings, which I can then use I can kind of use them for this, but again, Cesium's buildings don't give me full geometry either. So if I go under this, you'll be able to see that it's just a one-sided material and it doesn't have a bottom, which I need the footprint. And then when I try to create the floor for these buildings, you kind of realize that some of the geometry on the walls are not parallel, so I can't fill the hole effectively to have a flat foundation, because these walls are on like at different elevations based on the grade of the landscape, and the grade of the landscape is terrible in Memphis. Like there's no such thing as a flat lot in this city. Like anywhere you place a ball, that bitch is gonna roll. Basically. But these are all static meshes, all generated from those procedural tools with OSM. And still, there's so much that has to be fixed before I can use it. So I have about 30 hero buildings that I want to do. It's FedEx Forum, Crosstown Concourse, which I have in a different level. Central Station, which is going to be right here. This is the Central Station. And then Arcade Restaurant, which is here. It's in a different level right now, as well as this block of buildings. The fire station, which is here. What else? This one, which is the Hotel Arrive. And let's see, where's Bill Street? Bill Street's here. So the other building, this one, which is the Orpheum. Actually, yeah, the Orpheum, which is here. And then a few of the buildings here in the medical district. So I've done a lot of buildings. I just have more of the gray box stuff in this level. And I've separated out the levels. I have like 100 gigs worth of just Unreal Engine projects where I've staged out, gray boxed, and actually put detail on some of those buildings. And it's a lot more work, I've figured, if I were to, whoops. It's a lot more work when I try to use the procedural tools. I'm gonna need a really good procedural expert that probably works in Houdini to be able to automate a lot of this. because then being able to use this geometry to optimize like the placement of windows and whatnot, it makes it easier because again, these are hero buildings that the character is going to walk right up to. So having that control, super important to me. Now, why I can't get this to align, it's like really baffling me. So I guess what I can do is edit the pivot, bring the pivot here. Now, hey Zeppelin, why were you and Emmett screaming on?
Because we were having fun with the cars and they fall off the track. That's why we're screaming and having fun.
Okay, that's great for you to have fun, but when an adult tells you to stop screaming, you can have fun without screaming, right? Do you have to scream to have fun?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah, but I want to scream and have fun.
I understand,
Because
but
the car
is it?
falls off the track.
I have a question for you. Are you having fun now?
No.
Why are you not having fun now?
Because I'm in a
Why are you in timeout?
Because I've been naughty.
How were you naughty? What did you do?
I was screaming.
Okay, because somebody asked you to stop screaming, right? All right, so if it's more fun to not be in timeout, why would you scream if you know that you're going to get in timeout and not have any more fun? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So if you want to have fun, should you be screaming?
No.
Because somebody asked you not to, right?
Yeah.
All right. That's why all I was wondering is like, if you know that you're not supposed to be screaming and you're having fun, wouldn't you want to have fun without screaming?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that hard to do? Is it hard to stop screaming?
No, but I just want to scream to have fun.
Right. You want to scream because screaming is fun, or because it's fun to break the rules?
Not fun to break the rules. I'm just saying
Right.
that it's fun.
It's fun to scream, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, but if I tell you not to jump on G-Dad's bed,
But what if I want to scream outside?
well, you're not outside, and you can't go outside without anybody.
Why?
Well, because that's dangerous.
Well, I can defeat a bad guy myself.
I understand, but I'm not gonna leave that up to chance. I'm not gonna let you do that because I haven't taught you how to fight yet. So even though you think you can defeat a bad guy by yourself, people get kidnapped and killed because they think they can defeat a bad guy by themselves. So I would be really stupid if I thought that you could defeat a bad guy by yourself, so I let you go outside by yourself. It would be really stupid of me to do that because I know that you're not stronger than a bad guy. Does that make sense?
Why is a bad guy stronger than me?
Because he's bigger than you. Because bad guys are bigger than you, and they have things that they can use to make it easier.
Okay, Bill, can I go play now?
I don't know. I don't trust yet that you are going to. I don't trust that you're going to behave just yet.
Yeah, but please trust me.
I would like to trust you.
Please. Can you please do it?
It's not that simple. I tried to trust you when I asked you not to scream, right? Okay, and what happened? I trusted you and you still did what?
Scream?
Okay, so trust is about me asking you one time not to do something. I should trust you the first time that I ask you, right? Okay. I would love to try again, but first I have to discipline you because you didn't listen the first time.
Please trust me now.
No, that's not how this works.
Why?
Are you going to cry and whine, or are you going to accept the consequences of your bad behavior and do better?
Better.
That's what I want to hear.
Then can I go play?
No, you have to sit there for a few more minutes until I think that you're done having a timeout. I don't like timeouts. I don't like punishments. I don't like spankings. I don't like any of that stuff. You know what I like? Can you tell me what I like before you say anything else?
No.
You don't know what I like?
No.
What do you think? Just give me a guess. What do you think Daddy likes?
Like getting hurt?
Getting hurt? No. What do I like you to do?
Listen?
And be what?
Good.
Yeah, that's what I like. I like good behavior. All right, you're a boy, man, and you know, a lot of people are going to tell you that that's not important, and that you can be anything. Which is, listen to me. Are you listening? Are you listening? Okay, a lot of people are going to tell you that it doesn't matter what you are, but it does matter. You have a lot of responsibility. Are you playing or listening? All right, I'm going to turn around and look at you. It seems like you're doing something that I've asked you not to do again. What is that? What do you think that is? Okay, so the reason that I can't trust you is because even though I've asked you not to do that, you're still doing it. Hey, so you don't get to get up until I can trust you. And it's your job to earn my trust. Is that fair?
Yeah.
All right. So again, you're gonna sit there until I can trust that you're gonna do what I ask you, right? If you really want to go play, now's your chance to be good and show me that you can be a good listener. But you know what it means to be a good listener? It doesn't just mean that you can hear what I'm telling you. It means that you can do what I've asked you to do. All right, so I can't trust you. That means that if I can't trust you, that means I have to control your body. When I can trust that you can control your own body, then I'll let you have more autonomy over it, okay? That means I'll let you make more of your own decisions with your body if I can trust you. But you have to show me that you can do that.
I'm the king.
You could be.
Why?
Well, because kings don't make bad decisions. I mean, they shouldn't. I'm sure some of them do, but you don't get to have that title without proving that you can be a good boy.
No. Is that cool?
No, what's cool is a good listener. It's cool if you, like, yeah, it's funny when it's time to play and have fun, but it's not cool when it's timeout time. Because I've asked you to sit down and relax. And if I can't trust you to sit down and relax, I can't let you get out of the bed and go play with your friends. I'll just let Jane and Emmett know that you won't be playing anymore today, okay?
No. No, please. No, no. Please.
Please doesn't help. Do you know what helps? What helps?
No, I don't know.
Being good. I don't know. I can't trust that you're gonna behave because you're still playing behind me when I told you it's timeout time. What should I? Okay, if you sit right there and relax until I tell you to get up, then I'll tell you to get up. If you don't sit right there and relax, I'm not gonna tell you to get up. Is that a deal? All right, prove it to me. Sit there and relax, and when I turn around, if you're still relaxed when I turn around, I'll let you get up, okay? Like I've reached a point where I'm not gonna end my live stream to talk to him. So we'll see how this goes. All right, let's move on to something else. I've got a couple of features and details there. Having the text, this is something that I do a lot of, is I get the branding and the logos done in my gray boxing phase, even though it takes me a little more time to complete an entire building. I'll say I might spend a day 1 day to a week on getting a building done, because I'm just spending more of that time thinking about whatever processes I'm going to do next, right? I think I want to, this might be a little crazy, but for some of these spaces, I want to put garage doors instead of windows. Remember what I said, okay? If I look back and you're not sit down and relaxing, I can't tell you to get up, okay? So be smart. Think about what I said, and when I turn around, what if you're playing? What is that going to mean? Yes, and you don't want to do that, right? Okay. So I'm just letting you know before I turn around and look at you. If I find out that you're playing instead of relaxing, I'm not going to tell you to go play with Emmett and Jane. That's really important.
Is Emmett and Jane playing?
Yes.
Where is Emmett playing?
Emmett's upstairs playing. Jane is playing. He might still be upstairs. I don't know. Jane is playing with your toys.
How do you know?
Because when I went in there and got you to get you to stop screaming and brought you into the bedroom, she was playing with the Hot Wheels racetrack that's on the countertop. Make sense?
What if she breaks it? What if she breaks the thing that
Well, let's hope
we created?
let's hope that she doesn't.
Why?
Well, because we trust her, right? Jane doesn't have a history of breaking your toys. You know who has a history of breaking toys? Who has broken more toys? You or Jane? Yes. So do we have to worry about Jane breaking toys or Zeppelin breaking toys? Right. So I don't think Jane playing with your toys is going to be a problem.
What if she breaks it by you creating it for us?
If she does, then you can fix it because you're a smart boy. You know how to build Hot Wheels tracks. Am I wrong or am I right?
You're
Right. Because you are what? You're smart?
right.
And you know how to do everything that I've taught you? And I've taught you a lot, right? Critical thinking is important. It's not you don't have to worry about, hey Zeppelin, you don't have to worry about the problem. If Jane messes your track up, that's a problem. What do you have to worry about? The solution, right? The solution. What is a solution?
Solution is a bad thing.
No, a solution is how you fix the problem. All right. Do we worry about problems or do we worry about fixing them?
Worry about fixing
All right. So if Jane messes up the track, what do you do? How?
by connecting the track together.
Yeah, that's right. And then you do what to the track to make it work the way I had it? How do you put it?
A box on it.
Yeah. Or yes.
Or put something else like it on it.
Something heavy?
Yeah.
Okay, go play.
Okay.
No screaming.
Okay.
Give me a kiss.
Okay.
Right here. Love you.
I love you too.
All right. Thoughts. I can focus on features now. Material based. So the side of this building has these tiles. The top has this corrugated metal. And I don't believe that there's really anywhere else that I'm gonna find that same type of material. So I can focus maybe on that. But I do see something that I do want to add before we continue. Okay, guys, figure it out. 1, 2, 3. One, two. It's not no. Okay, so it starts here. I need a box. Here. Boolean operations I've found to be like one of the best ways to take this work. And give me the effect that I'm looking for. Let's rotate this. And then extrude it. And then rotate it again. All right, let's see how many times we need to do that. This has to basically go all the way around to this side of the building. I just want somebody to know. Unreal Engine's built-in modeling tools are some of the best once you understand how they work. My son struggles sometimes with critical thinking, and I think that's where a lot of people have a hard time with parenting. They can teach their kids what to do, but not necessarily like why or how. Like, why would I do this? Why? How would I do this? Why? Why would I want to do this? So instead of them playing in a way that allows for them to be creative, he's so used to like taking inspiration from how other kids play, which is not necessarily in a creative way, but more so in a, like, I don't know, there's almost this like repetitive nature to how some kids play, to where they do the same thing every day over and over and over, and they just make a mess with all the toys, and they're just like, toys are here. And I don't know, I grew up playing not with like OCD, but in this really calculated way, to where I playing house and building with Legos, and there was a kind of a reason and an end goal to play. A lot of kids today who are just cooped up in the house because the world is absolutely crazy and kids are getting abducted, and like kids can't go outside anymore. They don't have this autonomy like we used to. They don't know how to play anymore with each other, with like in a creative way. Nobody has a lot of the parents around our age don't have critical thinking enough to be able to like kind of pass that down to their kids. And you know, a part of it is also I think this is supposed to stop here. Part of it is also everybody's broke as absolute dog junk and hardly have time to like really sit with the kids and explain things to them. And they're so used to just getting pissed off when things aren't going their way that they forget like these children are still learning, as are you. You're still learning. So is it fair for you to like get upset with a kid who has to learn from somebody that wasn't taught how to critical think? We went to school and learned like what to think instead of how to think. All right, looks like it's much lower than expected. Again, we're gonna kind of eyeball this. We're not gonna try to make it perfect. Let's merge. Merge. All right, let's try this push-pull situation. And this should give me exactly what I'm looking for on both sides. It should push this out into the normal direction. Which it doesn't appear to be doing. So let's try selected normals even. Nope. Vertex normals? Nope. Single direction? Nope. Well, selected normals you would think is the way to go, but I guess I need to recalculate those normals and then do it. Let's try push-pull first. Nope. Let's try extrude. All right, so another thing that I could do to kind of help with this is delete these faces. Let's grab a couple of edges. Let's bridge those edges together. fill this hole. Merge these top pieces. My drafting teacher told me there are 6 different ways to do everything. And if you find a easier way to accomplish what I'm doing here, by all means, that's exactly what you should do. That's exactly how you should do it. All right, now I can pull this out here. I can grab this one and do the same thing. And that's all I need. Okay, accept. Perfect. And what I'll do here is we're going to do a Boolean operation. So first I'm going to copy this, Control C. I'll grab my wall and the mesh. We'll go Boolean and we'll do difference A minus B. Actually, cancel. We're going to copy both the building and the little, I think these are like vents. So copy and paste both of them. I'm going to do a Boolean with both of them selected and do an intersection and then hit OK. And then we'll do it again and we'll do a Boolean and difference of A minus B and then hit accept. And then we'll grab this and split it, accept, and control click this one and delete that random face in there. All right, so now we have 2 different pieces. Easy. But I did discover a little bit of an issue that I want to fix. So that means I need to delete one of these and make a slight adjustment. Let's go to unlit. And let's modify this real quick. So that it doesn't intersect with this inner wall. All right, little issue that I didn't notice before. All right, and this will give me a much better result. So gray boxing is generally a really, you know, I guess you could say it's either fast or slow, depending on your intention behind gray boxing, like how much detail you want in the gray boxes. Since this isn't a fictitious world, I've already got these buildings gray boxed technically. So I'm going back on the gray boxes and I'm enhancing the gray boxed information so that later I can go back and add actual features. I can turn these into vents. I can turn the windows into windows, right? Until then, they will just be boxes, right? Like this. So going from a general shape to more detailed gray boxes will help me build out the entire building. All right, so now I can copy these, copy, paste, Boolean, intersect, accept. Okay, grab these 2, starting with the building and then the mesh I want to use to cut away from the building. Boolean, difference A minus B. All right, so I should be able to turn this off. Looks like I copied it twice, so 149. Let's grab this whole thing and delete it. All right, Boolean 149. And then we should be able to turn this one off also. Yeah. All right, so this is basically a vent. There's got to be some like HVAC system in there or something for all the air conditioning that the FedEx Forum needs, which is what I believe we're going to see here. Let's go street view to this corner, and that's what we're looking at. What's next? So no serious detail here. If you watch my stream in the past, you'll know that I have 3 different monitors that I'm looking at to do this work. In case you're wondering like why I'm turning my head. Primary monitor is on my far left, which is what you guys are seeing. The monitor in the middle is the second screen at the bottom next to my keyboard cam. And then my monitor on the far right is to the right of that, which is what I'm looking at with the Google 3D Earth view. I don't know what these kids' obsession is with the word booty. It's a little bit concerning and extremely annoying. All right, since this is already geometry that's basically ready to be turned into a wall of some sort. My only issue with this is that it's a little bit out of place, and it's not rotated properly either. Not a big deal, honestly. Convert, and let's make sure actually, let's see, default cube nanite, default cube nanite. So I need to convert both of these. Convert, accept. That way we're not accidentally editing something that's going to screw up our entire, all the other instances. Because when I do this gray boxing, I'm using the same mesh to populate all the buildings. And then if you polygroup edit one of those without converting it, it changes all the other meshes, and that's what you don't want to do. So let's take these two, merge. Let's grab this one. That's not gonna work either. Merge. That's right. Yeah, this would have been much faster if I just ignored all this gray boxing I did a year ago and just built this whole thing again from scratch using regular cubes. Because all this merging and stuff that I'm having to do would not have been necessary. Alright, now let's merge these to one mesh. And we have that wall. Now I can move this from this corner to there. Alright, I'm good with that. And now, let's move it up into position. There's no way let's just put it right there. Is it really flush? It looks like it is. We're gonna keep it down then. And then I'm gonna add a box here. And probably better that box. Alright, there you have it. That's gray boxing in a nutshell, by the way. It's just putting a box over the building's geometry. I really don't want to do this, but I think I am going to do it. I'm going to delete all this geometry that I previously created. And we're going to build new. We're just going to do it new. I always use a new box because then when I polygroup edit that information, it doesn't affect everything else. So if you just copy your boxes over, I'll show you why that can be an issue in just a second. I made a terrible mistake of of eating on my desk. And now my mouse like skips as it moves because there's some friction on my mouse pad. And I absolutely hate it. Let's go there. It doesn't have to be perfect again. Like, you know, this isn't exactly a digital twin because we're not using photogrammetry, LiDAR scans to figure out where the walls are bowing or anything like that for, you know, AEC, DEM. This is going to be for a game environment, right? So having all this stuff be exactly pixel like accurate, unnecessary. Yo. So doing this method that I just did where I create a box, I create an inset, and then I push that inset in to create the rooftop much quicker than creating the walls. Previously, I was gray boxing and I was trying to eliminate a bunch of steps and I was drawing walls like this. Oh man, it created a lot more work. But this is a much easier way. And it should allow for a much quicker result. Only then I can go and create Boolean operations to determine exactly where all these gates and features are going to be. So I think what I'm going to do here is take all the geometry that I've created and we're gonna scrap it. I don't remember how long ago. I'm gonna keep this one, I think. I don't remember exactly how long ago it was that I did this. Those will keep. And let's see, what is this? Yeah. But looks like dinner was made. I'm gonna go ahead and save this right here. I didn't make a whole lot of progress like I wanted to in this video. Dealing with the kids and stuff. Tonight though, around 9 o'clock, I'll put Zeppelin to sleep. It might take him about 30 to 40 minutes to get him to really fall asleep. I'll go live again. I'm live on YouTube, I'm live on Facebook and Twitch all at the same time. So if you want to come back later, I will be live probably until about midnight, and I'll push through this project much faster. I have a Patreon. I'll leave it in the chat. I don't know if it's going to push to all of my channels, but I'm using Restream to manage the chat. Patreon, it's Memphis Metas. I also have a Reddit. Dedicated to this project if you want to, and this is pushing comments to Twitch and YouTube. So Facebook, it's patreon.com/c/Memphis Metas. And Reddit is reddit.com/r/Memphis Metaverse. If you want to support, I just got my first 2 backers. Those of you who started backing me, I don't remember your names by heart, but I will go and look at those again. $5. They just did a simple donation, I think, and I appreciate it. But I have some different support options on there if you guys want to support the project. I will be looking into the live streaming to Patreon, and I'll do some more exclusive content, live videos on Patreon where I dive deeper into how I take this gray boxed geometry and turn it into real buildings with materials and whatnot. I'll go deeper into detail sometime this year. I'm not exactly sure when, but right now I'm focused on gray boxing some hero buildings, and then once the gray boxing is done, I'll do a series of exclusive videos going deeper into detail on level streaming, blueprints, and creating some interactions as well as kit bashing so that you can actually go inside of the buildings. And I'll do some videos regarding path tracing rendering for architectural visualization as well as augmented reality. there are some live videos on my YouTube channel right now where you can watch me set up 2 iPads, up to 4 iPads, to be able to look around the scene in real time with a virtual camera on the iPad. I will be doing some tutorials on Patreon of that as well. Once I finish these hero buildings, I'll export them as an FBX, probably without materials and textures, so that my Patreon members can download the buildings. So if you want the Bass Pro Shops Pyramid, the FedEx Forum, or any of the other major building models that I do as a hero building, join my Patreon and I'll be uploading those for my members to access. I'm gonna go have some dinner with the kids and spend some time with them before they have to take a shower, go to bed. Hope you're enjoying the stream so far. If you have questions, definitely think about those questions and comment on one of my YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch videos, and I'll be happy to answer those questions or make a video showing you how I accomplish any particular task when gray boxing photogrammetry. All the music is mine that I've been playing in the stream. It's on my YouTube channel. I've got a playlist. I think the playlist is 901 King Beats. Let me take a look and see. The playlist is Paperboy 901 King Beats. And I'll leave this up here on the last slide. I guess when I end the stream, you'll be able to look this up. Paperboy 901 King Beats instrumental playlist. If you want to listen to any of my music or any of the music I played during the stream, you can go there.